Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to build a simple to-do list using JavaScript. This is a great way to get started with React and understand its concepts. So, this is my to-do list. You can add, you can check as completed, you can uncheck it, and also you can delete. So let me add. So I'm adding different tasks I'm going to do. Cooking. So as you can see, I can add as many as I want. I can also check this as completed. I can also uncheck it, and I can also delete it. And as you see, whenever I point on delete, it keeps on hovering, as you can see. You can also delete. You can also check it as completed. You can uncheck it, and you can also delete them. So in order to get started, we need to set up our project. But first of all, you need to be with Node.js installed on your machine. If you don't have it, please go ahead and install it. You can go on nodejs.org and you install. This is the most recommended one, recommended for the most users. You can install this. So for me, I'm not going to install it because I already have it on my machine. So first of all, what is reactjs? So reactjs is a widely used JavaScript library. It is a library that helps developers create user interface. So it focuses on building reusable components. Now let us go ahead and set up our React project. We will be using a tool called Vite, which is a fast and lightweight development server. So first of all, we are going to run a command, npm create Vite latest. So wait a minute, it is going to So here you can go ahead and you put in your project name. So for me, I'm just going to put there a dot. This means that I want to create everything in my current folder, in this current folder. But if you don't want, you can go ahead and create another project name. So we are going to be dealing with React. So we'll go on React, JavaScript. As you can see, we have these folders. We have public, we have source, and I'm going to delete some things which we are not going to use. I'm going to delete. Before I delete, let me first install. npm install. This is going to install all the dependencies we need to use. It is going to take some time. So in order to run our server, you type in npm run dev. So then you control click on this link. So React comes with this. When you press here, it keeps on adding. So when we come back here, we are going to delete some files because we don't need them. We are going to delete assets. I'm also going to delete public. And app.css, we also don't need it. So this folder of node modules, don't remove anything from this folder. Don't remove anything, and we are not going to edit anything from there. We are only going to use these. So index.html is the entry point of the React application, and also app.js file is a React component that serves as app.js is a React component that serves as the main container for other components within the application. So main.jsx is responsible for rendering the React application into the HTML document. So we are going to put everything under one component. So our main component is going to be app, and we export default. So after that we return something. Let us return hello world. And let us run our server. And we see what we shall get. npm run dev. Then you control click here, and then you will see our hello world displayed. So we are going to create our project, but I'm going to take you step by step. So let us first create a form. For it. First of all, let us create div. Let me give it a class name container, and you can see that this is similar to HTML, but this is not HTML. This is JSX. And let me also create a heading and give it a class name header. Our heading is going to be to-do list. To-do list. I'm going to take you step by step. Now let us create a form. Let us create a form. And give it a class name. As you can see that I'm using class name, I'm not using class. So in JSX we use class name. If you try to use class, it won't work, because class is already defined in JSX. It is already defined, so you have to be using class name, something like that. Let me give it a name called new item. New item. So now, after creating our form, inside our form, let us add input. Type will be text, and let us add placeholder. Let us name it our daily activities. Our daily activities. So after that, let us also add a button. And let us also add h2 and put in my today's tasks. After that, let me first control save and see. Have to run the server. npm run div. You control click. Now let us go back and let me also add a list of items. Let me give this a class name of list. Li. Also give it a label. Input type I want this to be a checkbox, not a text checkbox. I want it to be a checkbox. I put here task 1. Task 1, and also let me add a button. Let me add a button for delete. 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 Let me give it a class name of bt delete. So control save. So this is how we want our project to look like. We have not yet added in CSS, and also it is not interactive. So React is going to help us to add in some interaction when we add something here, so that when you place add, it can be displayed, and when you press delete, it also can be deleted, and when you click here, it can be completed. You can also uncheck it. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to add in some interaction. That is our next. So now let us import. Let us import React. Import React from React. This will import React packages, and we are also going to import use state. Also going to import use state from React. So use state will help us handle the state within our functional component. So it will help us on the interaction side. So here, let me create an array with 2 variables, new item and set new item. Set new item. And equal this to use state, and by default I'm going to leave this with an empty string. So let us go and update our input. Here value equals to new item and also let me add an on change event handler set new item dot target dot value. So when I go back, you see that I can type, but when I press add, it doesn't work. So we are going to work on add. Whenever I press add, it displays here. Let me show you something. When I try to put in something here in our empty string, you will see that it is displayed here. So that's what I was trying to do. So I wanted that when we add value, it can be displayed here, and this one it is used to update. It is used in updating. So when I remove this, you will see that it is also removed here. So I want like when a user can add something, and when he or she presses add, it can be displayed here. So now let us go on and handle our submission. So let us create a function called handle submit, and pass in an argument event dot prevent default. So this will help us prevent our form from default submission. And we go inside our form and on submit equals to, pass in our function handle submit. So when we control save and go back our page, when you type in something and press add, you will see that it is not adding. So that's what we wanted. When you press add, you see that it is not adding. So we don't want it to be submitted. We are preventing the submission. We just want it to be displayed here. So when I go back, I want to create my to-dos cost, create an array. Inside it I put to-dos and set to-dos. This will help us update our to-dos, as I told you before. Set to-dos. I'm missing here comma. Use state and pass in an empty array. Pass in an empty array. So I go here and set to-dos. This will help us on updating our to-dos. Set to-dos. I pass in an argument current and I name it current to-dos. Current to-dos. introduce, comma, ID, give it an ID of, I'm going to explain this, crypto dot random UID, give it a title, new item, and also completed false. It has to be a comma, this one. So this helps us to add a new to do item to the existing array by by creating a new object with an ID, title, and completed. So this crypto function is used to generate a unique ID for each item. So I have to add return here, return an array. This is an array, and also set new item and return empty string. And I also want to iterate from my array, so I go here and I add to do's dot map. So this map helps us to iterate over the to do array. So I add to do, and I want to return this. So I'm going to go and cut this. I'm going to go and cut it, and I paste it inside here. So I give this a key, to do dot ID. So this key will help to uniquely identify each list item. So take an example, like we want to delete. Let me first Control save and go. So take an example that you want to delete. Something. So remember, we are using an array, and you know an array starts from 0, 1, 2. Let me say that I want to delete something and I delete 1. When I delete 1, that means that it will be 0, 2. That means that I'm going to mess up my array. So in order to delete and I don't mess up with it, I have to use the ID as my unique identifier. So each item is given an ID. Okay, so let me go here in my input and add checked as to do dot completed and also let me add here ID equals to item So far, this is how our code looks like. This is how it looks like so far. This is how it looks like. So we can add whatever we want. We can add anything we want. You can type in anything you want, but we can't delete. We can't delete them. So let us go back and deal with that, and deal with delete and even checked. So let us first create a function. To handle that checkbox. Function handle check handle checkbox. Function handle checkbox. Change and pass in to do ID. So this function will be called when the checkbox is clicked on. So it has also add set to do's current to do's. This is a function. So it will use this set to do's function to update the to do state. So current dot, then after we iterate through our to do, our current to do dot id dot id go to do id completed and not completed. This has to be here. To do. I've made a mistake here. Completed. So I have to remove this. Be like that. So to do. Control save, and also create another function For delete function, handle delete. To do id, so here when the delete button is clicked, so here when this function will handle the delete button, whenever it is clicked, this function will be called. You set to do's, current to do, dot filter to do dot id. So this is our function for handling our delete, and this is our function for handling our checkbox. So now let us go back here, and inside our delete button we add on click we pass in a function handle, and this handle delete, control save, and also inside our checkbox here we add on click. So when you go here and add to do dot id, and also here we add to do dot id, control save, and when we go back here and add, you see that we can delete, we can add, we can delete, add, we can also check it, can uncheck it, we can delete. So now we are going to add the CSS. So the whole idea was to show you how to use React. This is our project. It is done. So I have added in my CSS. So I imported the CSS. I imported the file. So this is my CSS. As you can see it here. This is my CSS. This is my CSS. So if you need the CSS, I'm going to add it to my GitHub and leave the link in the description. So as you see, this is my to-do list. I can add, let me say washing, and add. So today I'm going to wash, cook, learn. So If I'm done with washing, I can come and tick it as completed, and also tick this as completed. So if I want, I can delete it and delete also this one and remain with learning only. I can also delete it. So that's all for today. So I'm going to keep on doing different projects, and if you want to see my different projects well explained with the code, please like